Welcome back, everyone, to LCS Challengers. We're doing the summer promotion right now, and we've gone the distance in our first best of three, Winthrop University versus Blue Otter. This is going to take us to our next segment, which is our Subway best of three sidekick. So to start off, got to talk about champions, the more interesting picks, the more unique picks that we want to see come through. And I'm going to start off because I want to take this before you steal it from me. Beat down. Zoe. Samikin.
I mean, that's never getting through, but I'm glad you felt the need to shout it out, Eric. Thank you. We would be nowhere if not for you and your efforts, I guess.
Thank you, thank you.
Yeah, no problem, man.
A little more praise, please.
No, I'm just going to go ahead and say mine.
I'm one more compliment away from growing back my hair. Come on, B.
I mean, it's going to take more than one. But I think I'm not going to say anything unique. I just think we need to, especially because in a Game 3 scenario, we just need to pick what works. We don't have to get too crazy. We don't have to get too fancy. The affiliates that Blue Otter passed on in the second game is what I'm thinking of right off the bat. Why do I have to do my job, Eric? Is that what you just said to me?
Yes.
What's wrong with you, man?
Yes.
Yeah?
Okay.
Then why do you have to be bald? It's the same thing.
It's a bald-headed aggression. Why are you putting
aggressive?
Okay, Cincy, I see whose side you're on now.
Prod has spoken, man. I don't know.
I'm giving another one right now, and that is Camille or Denethor, because I'm talking about the old picks that I used to love to see out of some of these players. I know he had a little bit of rough angles on Camille in the spring promotion, but throughout most of the qualifiers themselves, his Camille was immaculate.
Yeah, it was a favorite pick of his in the past. I don't think we'll see it now. It's not very high priority. Depends. Maybe if we end up seeing Winthrop on Red's side, we'll see what we get in Champ Select. There is that opportunity. Maybe in R5, like there's a crazy angle for the Camille. Otherwise, I'm not really seeing it.
Well, since we don't have that much time, I do want to give the floor to Twitch chat a little bit, because we do have to give a big shout out to our sponsor, Subway. As with stuff like this, we need stuff in the ecosystem to help the players, to help the scene itself, and to get the income coming, right? To keep the lights on at the end of the day. So sponsors like Subway really do make this possible. So if you want to give them a good shout out in Twitch chat right now, name your favorite sidekick. Churro, Cookie, or the Pretzel. And you know what? I'm going to take that back. Churro. You say it with the rolled R's. I'm so tired of saying churro. But please, give us our thank you.
No one was forcing you.
Give us our thank you to Subway in the Twitch chat. Let us know what your favorite sidekick is. And now that we're done chilling, we're ready to get into game number 3, Winthrop versus Blue Otter.
All right, so the 1% chance of a Camille R5 has gone down to 0, unfortunately for you, Eric, because Winthrop are on blue side. But other than that, something I'm curious about now as we get to this third game is, again, I did mention the Aphelios. I'm wondering if we see that taken away by Winthrop, because I think that's one of the better AD carries that are probably left, considering everything else that is banned away, because Varus is going to be banned there, right, Blue Otter?
Gotta be. Been banned in every game thus far. Don't leave it up. It'd be a perfect B1 for Winthrop to take. Mobility would be happy with that champion. Blue Otter. It's Nico. Varus is up.
Interesting. I mean, they ban Nico every game, and because there is no threat of them taking Orianna, I guess they don't want to give that one over to Sword either, but that one is kind of tough. I am wondering what they end up actually prioritizing.
Interesting.
Ahri first pick.
Oh.
It could be setting up for an early Vi for Wokow, and it is a takeaway from Samikin. It is another one of his comfort champs from what we've seen so far this split in qualifiers. So, there's angles there.
All right. So, first lock-in. Not going to put as much emphasis onto the Varus that we were expecting before. Still gives you a very, very mobile mage in the mid. But speaking of mobility, the Queen just got locked in. Rek'Sai for Blue Otter.
Yeah, and I almost certainly going to be for Lawrence in the top side. Guys, Rek'Sai jungle is not real. Rek'Sai top, though, stonks. It's really good, and it is that opportunity for Lynx to get the Varus for himself. Since Winthrop passed on that one in favor of the Ahri.
Or it's always going to be a real good champion to have, especially when there's a lot of mobility, because that chain of corruption provides a lot of zone control that Winthrop will have to respect. Now Winthrop going to go for their marksman pick at the moment, and Jinx is not something they can lock in. They picked it earlier, so that is not available to them. So they're hovering onto the Ezreal for the time being, switch it out for Xayah.
Okay, so it's going to be the Insta Xayah Rakan actually come through. So there is that bit of safety into what's probably going to be a very strong lane, depending on what Rovex locks in to pair up with this Varus. And you do have another dive buddy there to pair up with this Ahri for Sword, who's going to be going in. And I'm expecting if something like the Vi gets through, that'll be the pairing. There's still a lot of premier junglers up that Wokao hasn't gone for yet. Xin Zhao comes to mind as well.
Hey.
Even Rel, if you wanted to go that route. Oh, that's
So,
locked in.
Yeah, the Annie is locked in. So now we have some pretty strong pick potential now coming out from Blue Otter League.
Yeah.
It's not just Chain of Corruptions, it's that Tibbers that can burst you down in a heartbeat.
Yeah, and that's really scary as you're playing as Ahri, because you don't have really that much of a range advantage over Annie. It's just the Q, and if she has her fully stacked passive, she eases towards you. She uses Tibbers. Sorry, buddy. You just lose all of your health. I don't make the rules.
And sometimes you don't even need to use the Tibbers. Sometimes you just need to use the Q because it's the guaranteed point and click.
Yeah, exactly. There's a lot of options there, and I like the immediate Wukong Vi ban. No hesitation for the side of Blue Otter. I think both were really good pairings with the Ahri. And I think the only thing that stands out in my mind is the Xin Zhao, and it'd be really cool if Music took that right here.
Right here.
Right here.
Right here.
Trying to think what else is available.
No.
Volley Bear is technically up.
Oh, no. We're on the Xin Zhao, man.
Okay. All right, man.
Right here. Right here.
Any second.
Right here. Any second.
Oh, so we're
Right there.
waiting.
Nada.
I mean, are we? We're being so fake right now. Like nobody thinks this is Rek'Sai jungle. Like, shut up, guys. Like, we're just keeping this to the. Oh my god, that's just so disgusting, man. Whatever. Like, this is fine too because you're
That's
really
like the
good.
casters every now and then, you know.
You're really good. Like, Renata's really good in lane against the Rakan. You also have that ultimate that's really good into this dive that Winthrop are going for. So it's a good pick overall. You know, we're getting teased. Come on, man. I want to know the answer.
But I really just love the layers of crowd control and, again, 5v5 that we have from Blue Otter so far. So now trying to match that a little bit, you do have the Gnar, which does play towards its own, both in the side lanes and once you get that Mega Gnar form. But the Xin Zhao, waiting for right here, is actually
Is it the
right
Jax? Is this all for the R5 Jax for Music in the jungle? Because actually, that would be pretty good. So now we're just trying to see what that last pick is going for. We just hate beat down apparently. Just come on, you hovered it. Come on, don't whatever. The point. Let's talk about Winthrop's comp instead of getting teased. It ends up being. God damn it. Whatever, man. So you do have this skirmishing a mid jungle duo. I think that's part of why we're seeing Lee Sin come through for Music as well. Maybe he's trying to look for that little bit of mobility and that extra bit of maybe damage in those early levels because they are looking to scrap it out a lot. You do have a lot of CC with this Annie, which can set you up for a really nice insect kick as well. So I'm kind of expecting that to be the route that they're going for. And you have a lot of CC on this team as well. Not just the Annie, Rek'Sai. The most exciting thing, especially about a tank top Rek'Sai, is just the fact that A, she's never going to die in lane because it's really hard to kill her. And also, the W knockup, they made it hit multiple targets again. So there's a lot of setup potential here from Blue Otter in these team fights. And they have a couple lanes that are looking really good for them as well. So Music should have the run of the early game.
Every single member of Blue Otter has some form of hard crowd control that they can just dominate with. And what I love about that is it plays so well for Music. He can visit multiple lanes and have a good amount of success either way. But as we head into the game right now, it is game number 3. Whoever wins this is going to proceed forward. Whoever loses this will use up their first life in the promotion tournament. So let us know who got this one. Spam it in chat. W for Winthrop or Blue for Blue Otter. Head into this right now. Can we get one more tour for this game, Samantha?
see some of the animals before things scrap it out.
Yeah.
I'm looking to.
I feel this is going to be a little violent, you know?
Yeah, 100%. And, of course, I will say, too, the winner of this will be going to play Lit Esports. Really big for them because if they win that match, they'll be one away from the promotion tournament. So basically, teams in this upper bracket, you got to win 3 matches. 2 Bo3s, a best of 5, and you are in NACL.
Oh no, this is not where you want to be, Sword. They set up the trap. It's both with the hook and the stun, so there's no way out of this. Blue Otter will get first blood. It goes on to music.
That is a great read. This Lee Sin getting first blood 2 games in a row, it seems like, Eric. And this time it favors Blue Otter, which feels really good. Coming off a pretty difficult loss. Clearly, it's just back to business for these guys.
And that is the way we're going to have to see the game played. A lot more of these early plays coming out from Blue Otter. And they have the tools to do it. We talked about that crowd control. Music can go to a lot of these lanes, bot lane, mid lane, especially if you do it pre-6 in the mid lane. Sword can fall victim to that Annie stun, Lee Sin damage. So right now, I really do like Blue Otter's chances for this early game.
I like that call out, especially because the timing. Sword had to TP so that he wasn't late for the first wave. You get a wave stack, or you just get a play where Sammykin can shove in a pretty decent sized wave. Sword's going to lose a lot of that, and it's really going to set him behind.
Teleport being burnt early, it's always going to hurt if you're punished, if you're sent back, and if you lose that wave. But now Lawrence, it's unfortunate, man. We haven't seen that champ in a while. Maybe a little bit rusty on it as that knockup's not going to find its way. Denethor will get the punish in.
Nope, but I mean, the sustain is the big thing that is really nice about this champion. And Lawrence, though, is getting chunked out pretty nicely by Denethor. There is this opportunity for Wokow to run straight top if he really wants to, but I think it's actually just him covering this mid lane play. I like this because Sword has this wave pushing away from him. I like that he's in the area in case music does exactly what I mentioned earlier.
Because that's the expectation. Lee Sin, early ganks, early pressure.
Oh, yes.
At least alleviate some of that pressure. Wokow, at least being wise to where that pressure can be allocated. Still has his entire top jungle to clear out before he needs to think out his next focus.
Yeah, 100%. I mean, honestly, sometimes I watch Tier 1, and I don't see jungles cover pretty obvious plays, so good job, Wokow. That's what we like to see. So far, nothing else has really happened since that first blood ends up coming through. And now I'm kind of having my eyes on music because he hasn't done anything since getting that first blood. He's gotten the full clear. He has that option to go for the Scuttle Crab, which he's on right now. And once he gets that first back, it's going to be a doozy. So he's going to have that opportunity to have a big impact on the map.
So right now, music's still playing on the same side of the map that Wokow is currently on. It does make for a pretty interesting matchup because the Tempest you use does provide a slow that does counteract that 3-talent strike, but with no Lee Sin there, Wokow is going to get a flash out. Look easy. Lawrence is critically low. Not going to flash for it. Denethor would have given up his life if he went for that, so make it work. Now pressure comes in the bottom lane, as well as the top side. Jungler is going to meet. Music versus Wokow, going to part ways.
And that ward that music was backing on was part of why I think we didn't see Wokow or Denethor go too deep onto this dive. It's enough for them to get the flash and teleport out of Lawrence, and all they need to do is show up again.
Here we go. Wokow going on to Lawrence. Lawrence, he does not have level 6, so this is going to be tough for him to get out of there. Does get a nice flash. Now Wokow almost goes down. It's going to be a trade. Denethor trying to make some room, but music will chase him down for the double.
Wow, and that ends up being really nice for Lawrence on the top side because that wave is stacking and pushing away from Denethor. He's going to be able to collect a lot of that. So in terms of CS, he should be able to even things out pretty nicely. But overall, it's also a nice play from Music. Yeah. I said his first back was going to be huge. I mean, it's even bigger now that he got those 2 extra kills.
The 3-0 Lee Sin 5 minutes into this beatdown.
Yeah. We like that one a lot. I will say Caulfield's was nerfed a little bit on this patch, but still, having that and a pickaxe feels really good. And I kind of like this call from Music because he understands Denethor wants to get this wave in because it is pushing away from him. Lawrence just TP'd back, so there's an angle here. Wokow has to show up, and even though Music is late to the play, with his help, Blue Water come out on top.
All right, Beatdown. I know you have a little bit of a background in martial arts. What are we rating Music's performance right now? Rate that Beatdown.
What? 1 to 5, 1 to 10? What are we?
Yeah, 1 to 5.
Here? I'm gonna give it a 7. Solid 7.
Hey, let's see if he
Unfortunately, we won't
can
have time to talk.
earn an extra point maybe as he's
Oh
currently
my
fighting out
God.
with Wokow. Oh, no, he's not going anywhere. As the bailout comes, there's no one to cash that in on. So, unfortunately, Music, what are we rating that one?
I mean, that wasn't a beat. That was a jumping, man, from the side of Winthrop. Like, the whole team came for this guy, and it ended up working out pretty good. As long as Lawrence can walk away, Blue Water can limit some of their losses here. Because Sword is chunked out, and Lawrence has his pressure, there isn't much else Winthrop can do with this kill. Wokow just goes back to his camps. He's not comfortable enough to, oh my god, even do that. No flash.
Yeah, Lawrence has
goodbye.
this. Ultimate's going to be popped. Wokow is food for the queen. The kill goes over to Lawrence.
All right, Eric, you're the play-by-play.
Yeah.
What's Rek'Sai's ult called?
Oh, no.
Oh, no. You don't remember? Oh, man.
It's been so long since I've seen this champion.
You don't, I mean, I know what it's called. Come on, man.
Hold on, let me go to Gamepedia.
Think about it. I'll give you a hit. Don't do that. What the hell? You cheater. It's called a Void Rush, actually.
Yeah, Void Rush. I knew that.
Yeah, you totally did. I was just reminding you. No big deal.
I was testing you, man. You know?
Yeah, oh, my God. You're right.
Keep
Did
each
I
other
pass?
in check.
The truth. Reals. Thank you. I'm so glad I was able to impress you with my knowledge, Eric. And that's all I really try to do with this job.
You always do, Beatdown. You always do. And
Oh my God, thank you.
right now, what's impressing me is a little bit of the performance we're seeing out of Music as he goes for a little bit of a cheeky invade right here. Still going to be able to sniff this out as Wokow.
Yeah, it doesn't
On
matter.
down the bottom lane.
Makes a
Chicky's
6.
over the wall, though.
Yeah, I mean, Sammy Kid is here. The best you can do is maybe go for a steal. Oh, no.
Yeah, trying to find it. Music will grab that kill onto Chookies. And Winthrop in full retreat. Music not going to pursue for any more kills, but small pickups here and there for Blue Otter. It's starting to amount to a lot.
I think mobility, lethal tempo is stacking. Oh, nice flash.
You can see Lynx looking for the angle. Did not have his ultimate available, so couldn't use that. Mobility still had his, so could play it a little bit more aggressively. That being said, though, Blue Otter currently looking good as they get complete control of this bottom side. They've even called down Samikin.
Yeah, the Q from Chookies did land, so they have the information. Problem is, a lot of people are here, Eric.
It's going to be a teleport from Sword. So 4 members of Winthrop University to respond to the dive.
I mean, a lot is committed to make sure that mobility doesn't drop that wave, has to use summoner spells. So I like the commitment, but I like the play even more from Blue Otter because, again, Sword is forced to use his teleport in less than ideal circumstances just to defend the play this time around. So you do get a valuable resource out, you still have a lead to work with, and you have more jungle camps you can take too.
Now Blue Otter posturing up into the jungle of Winthrop University. Be able to push them away for the time being, and now taking a look at the state of the game. So far, it's Blue Otter who are finding a lot of these small picks. And a lot of that really does come from Music's currently 4-1-0. I mean, you needed to rely on Music, and for the most part, I got to give credit. Music has been a good shot caller. Part of knowing shot calling is knowing where to be on the map at the right times, and Lee Sin, very crucial you have that mastery.
And it's cool to see that development from Music as well. Oh, gotta hold that thought, baby.
Sorry, Lawrence.
Okay.
Oh, is there no more Spirit Rush? No, it just came off cooldown.
Wow.
It just came off cooldown, so Lawrence is going to escape.
He lives, and his TP's coming back up soon, so that has got to feel fantastic. Sword trying his best to impact the map as much as he can, but so far hasn't been actually able to secure any kills as a result. So now Lawrence, he actually doesn't even fully finish the recall. He's just going to come collect this wave. He doesn't even care.
Want to miss out? Got the regen. You just need to clear the wave anyway and look to take the recall right after that. Lawrence is going to do. Now the next setup coming out, it's Music who's going for a chase onto Wakao. Zamikin's right there, so going for the stun, gets inside the crescent guard, and Wakao's dead. Now Music looking for more, sword gets slain. Hostile takeover comes through, just barely catches Chookies, will force the flash right out. Denethor, not sure if you want to be there. The bear swinging hands with the Gnar. Another Sonic Wave comes in. Mega Gnar form, almost available for Denethor as Blue Otter find the picks and get out.
And Blue Otter, they just continue to come out on top of a lot of these skirmishes. And it's going to end up being Blue Otter getting that third grub. They got the first two early on, so there isn't going to be an opportunity for 5 or 6 grubs because Herald will be up before that ends up happening. All right, Lawrence, perfectly safe. Thumbs up emoji, that's what I'm talking about. That's what I want to see. And Blue Otter just have all the control they need on bot side.
Music has been so aggressive and calling for a lot of these fights, Beat.
Yeah, he has been. I mean, this is a great angle coming through again. You're so strong on the map individually, so I love that he continues to leverage that flash as aggressively secures another kill. Even though they aren't able to take down Chookies in the end, and Denethor doesn't really get anything done there. Blue Otter, they are slowly increasing this lead to 2,000 gold. I think the only option for Winthrop is to try and play away from this Lee Sin. We can look right now to see the gold. Music at the top of the charts, unsurprising. So you just put your finger over that Lee Sin and his gold bar, then things aren't too bad. Maybe Winthrop have a play available to them, Eric. But as long as music is there, it's almost certainly winning.
Very doom and gloom dealing with this Lee Sin. The Eclipse is completed. Already grabbed his Phage on top of it.
Oh
5, 1, and 1. So much gold to Music. And again, a very vocal shot caller for the squad. You were talking about it when we had some of the open qualifiers that you watched his stream, Beat.
Yeah, and that's where we really got that clear impression that he is that big leadership role for the team. It's cool to see this growth from him as a player, especially because when he played for Supernova last year, he had some good performances. We saw that potential, like you mentioned at the top of the show, Eric. It didn't quite pan out the way we hoped.
Here we go, Wakao gets caught, and Music goes on a killing spree. The kick is vicious, man, and Blue Otter, they take no prisoners, beat down.
They're just running over Winthrop University, turning them into a smear on the road as they fly right past them. And that's second Drake on top of it all for Blue Otter. They're halfway towards that Dragon Soul, and on top of it all, to top it all off, Lawrence picked up 2 plates just now on the top side. This Rek'Sai is going crazy. And even on the bot side, there's just leads everywhere. You could see a big CS lead there for mobility, or rather, not mobility, for Lynx.
I'm listening to this tone right now, some heavy metal for the face of Wakao as Music just rings it, man. Right onto the Crescent Guard. It was so quick.
That just feels awful. You instantly explode at this point. You're down in items. You're down in experience. You're just down in every conceivable way right now as Wakao and the rest of Winthrop University. And it shows. I really appreciate that Blue Otter are not letting off the gas pedal. And this is how you use these leads and turn them into wins. And they're well on their way to getting the first win, taking that first step towards promotion to NACL.
And you had said earlier that opponent would be Lit Esports, right, Beatdown?
That's right, I did say it.
Yeah, so that's who they have in their future currently as Lawrence walks right into a trap bush. 4 members of Winthrop lied in wait, and Lawrence, the Tremor Sense, doesn't sense anything when they're not moving.
Right. And I think that's a nice play. At the end of the day, those kinds of bush stack plays are really the only way you're going to be able to secure something. And yeah, they took advantage of that Tremor Sense, which leads to them probably getting a Rift Herald. Blue Otter are still really strong, but that numbers advantage, I don't think they want or even need to contend for this Herald. I think they're still in a great position.
Winthrop are definitely not out just yet. One thing you have to keep in mind is it's a 7-1-1 Lee Sin. All the gold is on this Lee Sin.
A lot of it, yeah.
You choked the gold earlier, and it was Denethor who was number 2 after that.
Unfortunately, he's not anymore.
There's
yeah.
Lynx, yep.
Sorry, man. Again, I was going to mention earlier, too, and look at the CS lead bot side. Lynx, yeah, he's sitting on 3 assists, which is nice. But Lynx and Rovex, in that double range matchup, they've been able to put the screws to mobility. And of course, that extra attention from Samikin and Music bot side as well makes it really hard. And it just, makes me think about those play safe bot memes.
No. It's simple, Beatdown. We just pretend the Lee Sin does not exist.
Oh, true. You know what? Nobody's ever lost a game like that. You're right.
If I don't believe in him, he can't hurt me anymore. Now,
you just sound like every solo queue player ever. If I don't look at the minimap, he's not there, guys.
And speaking of looking at the minimap, what I was looking right now was a potential setup that was looking like an attack on Samikin in the bottom lane, but instead gonna have to pull off immediately because the rest of Blue Otter are there to set up the Dragon take that will be coming on in 2 minutes. Still a lot of deep vision really established by Blue Otter.
And we're 2 minutes away for that next Drake, which is going to be their soul point. It's another Hextech soul like we saw in game 1. Very powerful buff that Blue Otter are contending for the next little while in this game. So now Winthrop, they have an opportunity. Remember this season, the Eye of the Herald, you can sit on that a lot longer than normal. So Wokow should be able to drop that mid lane close to Dragon spawning time in hopes that Winthrop can get that first touch. But actually, they're going to drop a topside instead and get themselves their first turret potentially.
Curious how Music's going to respond on the map right now as Winthrop do make their presence felt on this top side. You can see the rest of Blue Otter being called towards the top, but they realize it's too late. The Rift Herald's going to die. Lawrence should be able to take that out, and Winthrop got what they came for.
I think it's fine to hover in fog just to make it look like you're coming, but there isn't really a way Denethor and Wokow get the kill. So him being there, dropping the Herald, getting some gold for this top side definitely feels good. Wokow did get his first item a lot later, of course. Music, as we see, just finished his second, this Black Cleaver. So he's still very much strong on the map. Winthrop, their best angle in this game is if they can get a pick before the fight actually starts. If they can isolate someone and kill them immediately. That's really the only angle onto these neutral objectives. You have Rakan, you have Ahri, you have a lot of CC just between the two of them in hopes that you can get a pick and get your mid laner resetting.
Wokow might get picked. Music coming out from the red buff area. Squad is there, but can they really protect him, man? Music is madman. He's a psychopath. Wants blood.
Protect who? Like, I don't think Music needs protecting. Winthrop needs protecting from him.
We're talking Wokow.
Oh, okay, yeah, true. And now you can see the teleport coming through. Winthrop, late to this Drake. It's going to be really hard for them to actually get this priority. Again, they walking into Annie, Renata, it is pretty dangerous. You can see Samikin holding on to his passive, hiding in fog, just looking for his best angle.
Music not in any real threat as a charm does land onto Rovex. A bit of chip damage now coming out as Winthrop are able to land onto both Music and Rovex. Dragon being pulled by Winthrop.
Yeah, you probably want to look for maybe a more high-value target, because as soon as the charm is down, you're not afraid of face-checking Winthrop anymore. And now Lawrence, yeah, he's got an angle. Mobility is probably who you are looking for. He has spotted them.
Denethor easily gonna chase him away, but Lawrence can just hop right over that wall. Now getting secured over to Blue Otter. Crescent Guard comes out as Wokow trying to last this one out.
Whoa!
Able to get over the wall is gonna be Lynx, and now Wokow finds one. Here comes Winthrop University. Charm lands onto Lynx, and Winthrop, they are not dead just yet. They'll fight right back and claim 4 from Blue Otter.
They couldn't have gotten a more perfect fight for them, Eric. Really nicely done. They secure the Drake to top it all off, and they're on their way to an ace just before 20 minutes.
Slay the Queen. Charm will not land. One more auto from Denethor, and it is secured. Winthrop University now take the gold lead.
What an insane swing. They were down 2K about just before this Drake fight, and now you can see it. It's secured. Music didn't get the kick maybe he was looking for. And to top it all off, a lot of damage was coming through from the side of Winthrop, unanswered. And to top it all off, it was a great Mega Gnar ultimate. So much damage came through without any actual response. People started dropping like flies.
And that was the big thing right there, right? You go onto Music. When Music has low health and he can't participate in the fight, you've lost so much economy from your team fight.
Yeah.
Lee Sin does fall off as this game goes later and later, so Music needs to share some of that love and share some of that gold with the rest of his squad if Blue Otter are still going to have a chance.
It's suddenly gotten really hard. You no longer have that soul point you could have been playing for. So much gold went down, almost 4,000 off of that play and into Winthrop's pocket. And you can see what it's done in terms of the item differences between laners. I mean, Sword, he's actually ahead of Samikid now. He has finished the Horizon Focus. Mobility is really close to finishing the Navori Quick Blades too. He's basically on pace with Lynx again. This is just a huge swing for Winthrop University. And now, there's a good chance that they can be the ones to close this out and get their first win, or their first series win.
Still great teamfight tools and pick tools for Winthrop University.
Yeah.
Look for Chookies and Sword to set this up, as they have a 2K lead now. I mean, one of the big parts of that was actually getting the kill onto Music, because that was a big shutdown that was picked up for Winthrop University. So having that gold shared out, spread out. In fact, I want to use my special tools now to actually look at that gold. And now we're seeing blue at the top beat.
And it's got to feel really good for Winthrop that mobility is at the top of the charts right behind Denethor. He's playing the Xayah. A lot of his best performances that we saw when he was subbing for EG Challengers last spring, when he was playing for Winthrop in summer during the promotion tournament, were on this champion. And now he has the goal to make things happen. He's finished that second item, which is a huge spike for the Xayah. And everything Blue Otter worked for this early game is gone to the wayside now that the carries of Winthrop are fed and ahead.
Yeah, you can see how much pressure Denethor is able to apply now as we've gotten later into this game. He can just dance around. Has both that Terminus as well as the Trinity Force now completed to take it to Lawrence. You can see that Winthrop now trying to set up the map state into their favor. A slight breeze would knock over that mid lane tower to get more economy going over to Winthrop. Still got a minute 30 before we get the next Drake.
Yeah, the nice thing for Blue Otter is that there's a lot of gold on their side as well that they can easily pick up. They haven't actually taken a single turret yet, so there is an opportunity for them. One good fight win could swing a lot of gold back into your favor. Right now, my eyes are set on this dragon, though, Eric. A minute left. It's Blue Water's second chance to get that soul play going for them and still have a win condition to play for in that Hextech Soul. But if Winthrop, they start stacking those second Drakes, I'm starting to worry about their chances. Remember how far ahead Music was ahead of Wokow. Now, Wokow just finished the Sterix Gauge. He's going to be really hard to blow up. He's going to feel a lot better about jumping into the members of Blue Water because he's going to have a lot more survivability.
Sterix Gauge, Crescent Guard. Wokow will get into the face of the squad. We'll try to see to commit to his role, as now I'm looking at where Winthrop are positioning. They do have the side lane being sent out by Sword. All the meanwhile hovering with Wokow from both the top and mid lane. There's nothing really to fight for right now, but what I'm looking to see is that transfer over to the Drake so you don't give Blue Otter control of the game. Allow them to dictate the game, that is. And that's what we're seeing right now is Winthrop start posturing towards that Drake area. But you can tell right now, Blue Otter are trying to set up a gambit around Baron.
Oh, we got teleports all across the board.
Rovex is not going to be able to get away. Denethor grabs that kill. Now coming over the wall is going to be Music. Still has the Dragon's Rage. Waiting for the opportunity to use it around this choke point, but Winthrop have already won out.
Yeah, I mean, that's a big pick. Now, oh, hold on.
All right.
Sword?
Sword's still alive, but Music wants to change that. Gets the kick in. It's not enough to kill, but there's Lawrence to get the Void Rush on the chase. Gets rooted up by Mobility. Lawrence doesn't have much left in the pool, so Mobility will go on a killing spree. And with Sword picked up, Winthrop are able to return fire, taking down Lawrence. They head straight for the Dragon.
And that's going to be their second Drake in a row. Blue Otter's comp is really more favorable when they get that first setup, and Winthrop are just not allowing them to get it at all. They recognize that if they play fast and get that first pick, they're going to win these fights every time. So now they get the soul. There was no chance for Baron, or rather, they got their second Drake. Excuse me, getting ahead of myself. There was no chance for a Baron trade either. And it means Winthrop essentially get it for free on top of the kills they got.
And you could tell Blue Otter were looking to make Winthrop potentially answer their gambit. They were setting up around the Baron at the same time Winthrop were going for that Drake. So for Winthrop to pull the trigger that quickly and still secure that Dragon for nothing, pretty big deals. Now Chain of Corruptions is going to land onto the jungler. Wokow has to flash out. Lawrence able to get a double knock, but Strickies goes in, able to pop the ultimate. Mobility has to back up. Featherstorm now utilized, able to get a root through his music. Oh, slammed against the wall. Denethor makes his voice heard. Going in deep's going to be Lawrence, but the Void Queen can do nothing. A double kill found by Sword. Blue Otter still have some health to work with, but Sword wants to change that. The Charm finds the money. Chucky with the knockup. Lynx runs critically low, and Wokow will not be able to clean him up. Lynx gets bailed down and returns fire to Winthrop.
A pretty clutch in the back half of the fight, but still really good for Winthrop. A 3 for 2 in their favor. And we're going to immediately get back into the replay. You know the Crescent Guard isn't there, so it's a really nice start to the fight there from Lynx and Lawrence. But the thing is, they just can't take down Mobility. Several flashes, several ults, and his top laner, Denethor, with back-to-back big Mega Gnar ultimates to set up his 80 carry to carry.
But this is where it all goes wrong. They try to bite off a little bit more. They land the charm. It seems like a guaranteed kill beat, and then Lynx gets bailed out.
Yeah, the problem is Sword. He couldn't dodge the hail of arrows. You see it right there at the end. He wanted to throw out that Q, which procced the bailout, to be fair, but it gave Lynx that opportunity to start resetting on his side and get the double kill in the back half.
You got to give some credit over to Rovex on the last end of that play. Had a great hostile takeover response. The bailout gave Lynx the window to actually make that play come together. So Blue Otter, while they do fight back beat, they're still at a 4K deficit. This game is far from over.
100%, and it's tough too because, like I was saying before, how it's hard to walk into Blue Otter, it isn't easy to walk into Winthrop either. Big thing there, look at where Sword's positioning. They have vision, and it's the charm that you're playing for. That's the big threat when playing from Fog with this comp. And Wokow, he feels really good about how strong he is right now. He is happily to use that audacious charge to just jump in to anybody's face.
So right there, that little bit of damage that hit Denethor means that the Mega Gnar will be on cooldown. But I'm not sure Blue Otter are itching too much of an engage right now. You can see the spread that's coming out from Winthrop deep in the jungle of Blue Otter. Now Sword gets caught out by Resonating Strike, loses half his health in the process. Still on the flank is Denethor, but the Mega Gnar will time out.
I mean, that's the angle now. You know Sword used his ult. You know Sword has to back. You could actually start the Baron if you wanted to, maybe play for some kind of turn. But instead, they're trying to flush out Chukies first. I'm surprised. I think with how this game is running away from Blue Otter, a chance at the Baron may very well have been worth it. But instead, they want to keep this, well, I want to say tier 2 turret alive, but they can't actually even do that. So they're actually giving up a lot of space on the map. And even worse, a minute before Drake.
And the reset now being channeled by Winthrop to set up for that dragon. It's not going to be a Dragon Soul just yet. Winthrop have done a good job to stop the stacking that we saw earlier from Blue Otter. X-Drake still feels great nonetheless, though. As reset now comes in, Blue Otter are going to attempt the Gambit once more around Baron.
Yeah, and the individual Hex Drakes feel really good, especially as a marksman, and this is what I was talking about now. This is that Gambit, but all of Winthrop are here.
Response to come through. Denethor's chained up, though. He can go down before the fight really begins. It's a shutdown found by Rovex. Chukies heads for the hills. Sword will find one onto Lawrence, and Chukies is still alive. This makes it a 1-for-1 trade of top laners.
So I'm just taking stock right now of what resources have been used. So it is the 1-for-1 that you mentioned, but Winthrop actually used a lot more. Okay, yeah, that's huge. Winthrop used a lot of resources to survive and not give away too many kills, so there's a good chance for Blue Otter to actually secure this next Drake. Look at Winthrop's ultimate. No Crescent Guard, no Spirit Rush, no Featherstorm for mobility, and he still doesn't quite have his flash up. But look on Blue Otter's side. They still have Tibbers. They still have the Dragon's Rage. Oh my god, but the Dragon's gone.
Already gone. Charm is going to land on Music. Music might fall as well. The bailout has been channeled on him, but he doesn't have much longer before that gets activated or times out. Over the wall sword, He'll find the charm, and mobility goes on a rampage. Sammykin trying to get out of the jungle, locked up with the rest of the members of Winthrop. What's this small child doing here? Well, sword will send him right back home. It's more kills for Winthrop.
And it's just more gold into their pockets. They are just winning everything out. Even when it may have looked good for Blue Otter, it looks like they waited too long. They didn't commit any teleports to try and make it back to the Drake. Winthrop took it too quickly, and now they have the perfect chance to take this Baron, put this series to bed, and meet Lit in the upper semis.
I hear it outside my window, the sound of the throps coming out. It's in full force right now as Baron secured the game, looking firmly in the hands of Winthrop University.
Yeah, and again, Blue Otter, they take a little too long to show up to this Drake. It's already gone, and they have all the angles they need. Sword has just been on fire with this Ahri. The early game was tough. He was the subject of a lot of pressure, but he really started to turn it up when Winthrop brought it back.
Winthrop will stay on top as a 7K lead now for Winthrop University. This game is looking more and more firmly in their hands. Blue Otter have been trying to find answers. Music has fallen off as a Lee Sin. Sammykin wasn't able to get too much. Lynx has stayed relevant, but you still need to protect this forest. And against some of the engages that Blue Otter have been throwing, it has not been enough. Winthrop University taking out an inner tower as they set up for the siege.
And it's hard. You have very few options now in terms of all-inning somebody. Mobility, he has ult, he has flash, he's very safe. Especially being past level 16, the rank 3 ultimate is going to have a pretty short cooldown. You top it all off, Sword opted for the Banshee's Veil. Yeah, he could drop the shield now and then, but there is still that extra step needed before you can get the CC onto him as well. So now Lawrence, he has an angle.
Lawrence gonna go for it. Well, Cow's already low before the fight begins, but Chunky's gonna change that. Music goes down, and Lynx, he's the sole hope right now for Blue Otter to stay in this. He's trying to bring the autos through. He's chased onto by Wakao. 3-talent strike gets the knockup, and Lynx will fall. So too will the hopes of Blue Otter taking this in round 1. Winthrop University, it's in the damn name. All they do is win, and they'll be able to take this series 2-1.
And it looked like a tough start for the Throps, but Blue Otter could not keep them down, Eric. Winthrop are going to meet Lit Esports and are one step closer to NACL Summer.
And what an intense back and forth with this series as well. I mean, Blue Otter were able to take one very, very convincingly. Then we had the statement returned by Winthrop University. Now this one, it was kind of both ways. Winthrop had to fight from a deficit, but they found the right angle, and it got them back in the game beautifully beat.
Yeah, I think they played a lot of those fights really well, and considering the deficit they're in, I mean, I got to give that big shout out to Denethor. I think he had a lot of high impact plays in and around those dragon fights with that Mega Gnar, and was a big part of why they were able to turn things around. And it's a really big comeback and a bit of a statement there, especially considering that this is that rematch from the first qualifiers. Blue Otter got the better of Winthrop last time, but this time Winthrop are sending them to the lower bracket, and now they have to play a few extra matches if they want to see NACL in the summer.
Winthrop will proceed to face Lit in the next round. You already mentioned Blue Otter's fate. Not quite done just yet. Have one more life to fight through. But off that note, we are going to throw it over to break. A big congratulations to Winthrop University. We're going to get ready for our second series of the day. That's going to be Ole Miss versus CCG Esports. Introducing the new footlong sidekicks at Subway. Try the warm and delicious footlong cookie, footlong pretzel, or footlong churro.